All right. All right. And we are live. Here we go. All right. Alrighty, we are live. Hello. Welcome to episode 1 of the PAWCAST. Now, the PAWCAST is a brand new series on the channel. It is a podcast where we will basically take the time that we have during these episodes and we will dedicate them to the topic of the week. Okay, so like I said, my name is Oborrok. I'm Oborrok. I'm known as the White Wolf, and welcome. Hello. So the podcast is, like I said, it's a podcast. Okay. The podcast is a podcast. It is something my dear friend Eli and I have been wanting to bring to fruition for quite some time now. By the way, hello, welcome. What is going on, Eternal? What is going on, Sydney? What is going on, Rise? To everybody that is a part of the live experience of this podcast, welcome. Thank you guys very much for being here. I appreciate you. Hopefully all audio levels are good. Hopefully you guys can hear everything good. Everything is good. I do hope so. Alrighty. And also I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. It's good to see you guys. Welcome. Now, so it is something that my buddy Eli and I have wanted to bring to fruition for quite some time now. We've wanted to make a podcast. The reason we wanted to make a podcast is because we do a lot of gaming, right? And we also are very passionate about a lot of other things as well, right? We're very passionate about a lot of other things, and sometimes in between the, in the streaming, right? In the normal streaming that we would do, we only have X amount of time to talk about specific things. So we wanted to make a podcast where we had all of the time dedicated to the topic of the week, right? The topic of the week or the guest that we have on, what have you, right? By the way, Crow as well, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Hello. And Rise, I'm glad you're having an amazing day. It's good to see you. Welcome. Now, so hopefully everybody's having a good day as well. It's very, very good to see you guys. Welcome. Now, so today we are week 1's episode 1 is Fit Friday. Okay, so this is called Fit Friday, and we are going to bring on Pattihealthyfitness, also known as Mama Wolf, my mom. So if we could get, if you guys are a member on the channel, you guys do have access to the Mama Wolf emote. If you guys want to put some Mama Wolf emotes in the chat, it is Mama Wolf, yo, indeed. Also, if you guys are looking forward to more episodes of the PAWCAST, please drop a like on episode 1. And to everybody that has already dropped a like on episode 1 of the podcast, thank you very much. Appreciate you massively. Thank you for the Mama Wolf emotes too, as well, Sydney. Thank you. Now, like I said a little bit of extra streaming, right? Other streaming. What I mean by that is to the community, to the Galactic Wolfpack, right? That's the name of the community. You guys know that I stream on different platforms. Primarily, the platform was Twitch that I was streaming on, right? Now we're taking a little bit of a break from Twitch and we are streaming on the new platform called Kick. So typically what we are doing in the time that we're streaming is we're gaming, right? We're chilling with the community. We're having a lot of fun. But like I said, my buddy Eli and I are also very passionate about taking topics and themes and putting more time into them and really focusing the time that we have to talk about those in a greater light, more in depth and on a larger scale, right? So that is why because a lot of you guys know as well that we actually did the normal gaming streams, right? We were doing the normal gaming streams. By the way, hopefully there is no echo. Hopefully we are all good. Hopefully there is no echo. Now, but a lot of you guys know that we were doing the normal gaming streams, right? We were doing the normal gaming streams on Friday, like today on YouTube. But I wanted, since we're already doing 3 Kick streams, right, where we play games and we do all of that, right? I wanted to take the Fridays and adapt that to the brand new podcast, with the brand new, see, it's already in my mind. It's already in my mind, man. The brand new podcast known as the PAWCAST. Now, so you might be wondering, why is it a stream, right? Because naturally, if you see a podcast, it is, pre-recorded, right? It's pre-recorded. You're able to watch it as a VOD, right? A video on demand. So why live? Why are we doing the PAWCAST live? The reason for that is because as the community, the Galactic Wolfpack knows, and if you guys are new to the community as well, then you guys will very soon learn that I love streaming. Okay, I absolutely love streaming, and I love having the community with me in the moment, right? In the moment when it is happening, right? I love being able to have you guys with me, experiencing, the game or whatever it is we're doing in that moment, right? So I thought, what better way to take the already YouTube streams that we were doing on Fridays on YouTube and to also keep it a stream, but adapt it and, change it into the podcast that we have always wanted to bring to fruition, right? So that is what we're doing. Now, some of the things you guys might be wondering, what are we going to talk about? Right? What are we going to talk about, man? We are going to be, so again, today's episode is Fit Friday. So the entire theme is going to be about fitness, health, and wellness. And we will do a couple more episodes like this. But we will also do gaming topics. We will do content creation topics, my own personal thoughts after years of content creation and building a community and the wonders of everything throughout being able to create content and play games with a community and have fun, right? So we can talk about that on a larger scale. There's also going to be a multitude of different guests over the multitude of weeks that we do this as well. And if you guys are wondering how long this is going to last, quite a while. My buddy and my co-host, King Me Eli, we have quite a few ideas. So this podcast is going to last quite some time. Now, again, about the streaming, if you guys are interested in checking out the normal streams that we do, if you guys are interested in checking out any of those, the Kick link, the link to the Kick channel will be linked in the description down below if you guys do want to check that out. We are live every Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday. We play Cyberpunk 2077. We play The Witcher 3. We play some Fortnite. We play some Diablo 4. Play a whole bunch of different games, and the vibes with the community are always 1,000,000%. If you guys would like to be a part of that, then join up and check it out through the link in the description down below. Now, let me get some water really quickly. Okay. So, again, thank you guys very much for joining episode 1. Thank you guys for being a part of the live experience. Again, Eternal Rise Sydney, Crow, thank you guys very much for joining us. Appreciate you. Hopefully everybody's having a wonderful day. It is good to see you guys. Thank you for the sound check, by the way. Sound is good. Thank you. I appreciate that. You said, no, you're good for days. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I see Mama Wolf. Hello. Mama Wolf is Mama Wolf is in the room. Okay. Miss Pattihealthyfitness is in the room, and she's typing in the chat as well. What a goat. What an absolute goat. Now, so we only have one microphone, okay? We only have one microphone, so we are going to kind of ping pong the mic a little bit. We're gonna, kind of move it between myself and Mama Wolf a little bit. We're gonna turn up the gain. So if at any point in time, okay, at any point in time there is any issues with the audio, please let us know. Okay, please let us know. Also, so the way this is going to work as well, we're going to bring Mama Wolf on. We're going to talk about some really cool things. And if you guys have any questions, okay, if you guys have any questions throughout this process as well, feel free to leave them in the comment section, right? Or the comment section. If you guys are watching this once it is a VOD, yes, if you're watching this once it is a VOD, feel free to leave any questions that you may have in the comment section. But if you guys are a part of the live experience as well. If you guys are part of the live experience, then you can leave any questions you guys may have in the live chat, right? Now, so let me see here. So Mama Wolf is, as you guys know, that is my mom. That's my mom. She is amazing in every single way. Now, some really cool things about Mama Wolf is Mama Wolf has actually been an RN for 27 years. So she has been she's been an RN. She's been in the medical field for 27 years, which is absolutely insane. She has been working in the medical field longer than I've been alive. That's pretty crazy. That's definitely pretty crazy right there, man. So massive shout out to Mama Wolf for all the hard work and everything that she has accomplished throughout the years, man. She is a wonderful nurse and a wonderful mom. Let's bring on Mama Wolf. Come on, lady. Come on, lady.
Go!
Alrighty.
Everybody, have to do a sound check. Make sure you can hear
All right,
me.
we got a mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2.
1 2 1 2.
Yeah, we got a mic check 1 2. Hopefully you guys can hear everything good. Hopefully with us kind of being slightly back like this, it's not hopefully we're not like cutting out mid sentence. Hopefully you guys are able to hear us.
Yeah, so please let us know.
Yeah, please let us know if there is any issues or if
everybody.
If everything is good. Alrighty, now also, really quickly, so another very cool thing about Mama Wolf or Patty Healthy Fitness. Hello, how you doing?
Nice
Hi.
to meet you.
Yo, dap me up, G. Come on. That's my mama right there. Dap my mama up. All right. So another really cool thing about Mama Wolf is she also makes content. Okay, she also makes content. So we're going to focus on primarily this last year because she's made a massive transformation for her entire life over this last year. You say year 14 months maybe?
April 2022.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a little over a year.
A little over a year.
Just a little over a year, man. So we're going to focus primarily on that as the main focal point, right? But also, we are going to talk a little bit more about her life and her journey as well with fitness entirely, right? But so some really cool things is part of this last year as well, a part of the fitness, Mama Wolf has also taken to creating content. So Mama Wolf has actually she's taken a page out of my book and she has started you're looking right there.
Hi,
you're looking
you
gotta
I gotta hi.
no, you can look at me. You can look at me. You gotta look at the camera. We have a little display right here. Mama Wolf be looking
really
right there.
It's really easy to look over there. Yeah, it
No.
kind of feels like when you're on like a show like Jimmy Kimmel or one
Right,
of those,
you know
and
what
you're
I'm
looking
saying?
at the camera that way or the audience, and I have to look at you guys that way.
Exactly. No, exactly. Hopefully, as well, the music is balanced properly because we do have the gain up as well. There's a little white noise in the background, right? There will be a little white noise in the background. So hopefully the music is kind of able to drown that out just a little bit. Hopefully. Alrighty. But so, like I said, Mama Wolf has been an RN for 27 years and a hospice nurse.
Yes.
So
for
she
16.
For 16. So you've been in the medical field for 27 years entirely?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
entirely 27 years, and she's
Yes.
been a hospice, specifically a hospice nurse for 16 years. You said you don't hear the music or the white noise? Okay, I can turn up the music.
As long as we don't hear the white noise, that's a good thing.
Right, no, definitely. Yeah, we can turn up the music a little bit as well, but if you're not hearing the white noise, then that's perfectly fine. Alrighty.
And so I graduated nursing school in 1996.
All right,
So
1996.
1996. So I became an RN in 1996.
Golly. You said you graduated.
Well, because I graduated with an associate degree and an RN certificate. And then I had to pass my boards, But
Let's
I
go.
had an associate of science in registered nursing and then got my certificate for completing the program, but then I had to take my state board.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's freaking go. Can we get some freaking hypes in the chat?
Nursing.
Can we get some hypes in the chat for Mama Wolf? And as well, thank you for your service as well. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah.
To anybody that is serving in any degree, man, in the medical field, you know,
First responders.
right? First responders,
Right.
you know, anything like that. Thank you very much for your service. All right. So, let's see here. So, but Mama Wolf has taken to creating some content, okay? So if you guys would like to check out any of Mama Wolf's content, those links will be in the description of the podcast as well. If you guys do want to check those out, we do have her YouTube linked. So you guys can check out the YouTube if you guys would like to, and we have her Instagram linked as well if you guys would like to check that out. She posts different stories. She posts different challenges. You're on a 14-day challenge?
I am. Yes, today is day 12 of 14.
So she's currently doing a 14-day challenge, and today is day 12 of that challenge. So if you guys want to check out any of that, or if you guys want to check out any of the informative, the funny, the just awesome shorts and reels that she creates, you guys can check those out by the links in the description down below. So let's get into this, man. How you doing?
I'm doing really good.
You're doing really good. Okay, I'm glad to hear you're doing good. Glad to hear you're doing good. Now, we went for a walk today. Right?
We did. Yeah,
we went for 3 miles. Yeah.
I like going with Oborrok actually because we walk around the orchards that are around our home. And I started doing 3 miles back maybe 6 months ago or so. Just kind of wanted to branch out and, you know, go a little bit longer. And when he goes with me, we talk, and it's not boring, obviously, to walk. But when you're by yourself, you might be listening to music and, you know, maybe talking to yourself or praying or whatever you want to do. And it seems like it takes longer, but when you're talking to someone on the phone or you've got someone with you, you keep up with their pace. And the next thing you know, you're done. And you've done 3 miles, which is just incredible.
Yeah.
So I like him going with me. I have to make sure, like, let's go.
So we walked for 3 miles today. It was hot.
It was hot, yeah, because they were doing a lot of tractoring. They've really kicked up a lot of the dirt around the orchard. So we come with very dirty tennis shoes, and that gets into our feet, and you know, we've got dirty feet, dirty socks, but you know what, we're doing something for our health, and that's the most important thing, you know.
True.
So and we're doing it together.
Very true.
We're supporting each other, which is very, very important. So I'm glad we got to do it, and that 3 miles is knocked out and done, so we can focus on other stuff for today.
I don't bite. You can scoot closer.
Huh? Oh, okay.
You're like way on the other side of the screen. Come on, now, golly.
I'm like enjoying this chair and just chilling.
Yep. You remember that one chair that had the footrest? Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There was a chair that was it a graduation gift? What was it?
Oh yeah, I think
something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Did I buy it for you? But it wasn't comfortable though, was it?
Listen. To sit in, no. To lay in, it was good.
Oh,
it was good.
Okay.
If you laid in the chair, it was good. You know, kick your feet up. You know, you're chilling, right?
Yeah.
To sit in freaking gamer position, no.
Yeah.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
You got to find the right thing depending on what you're trying to do. And as long as Obo's in here streaming and gaming, sometimes 5, 6, 7 hours with you guys, he needs a comfortable chair.
So, yes, and I do hope to one day be able to get a standing desk.
Oh, that would be cool.
Because wowzers. So I'm not gonna lie. Hold on. Excuse me for one moment. I'm an old man. I'm gonna go get my glasses because the chat is too far away from me. The chat is literally like 12 feet away, and I'm like, what? Because the text is really small. Let me go get my old man glasses.
He unfortunately takes after me, and I'm nearsighted, so I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see what you guys are saying either, but, so I don't know. I might periodically look down my phone to see what you guys are saying, but I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for coming, and if this is anybody's first time coming to this, because of me, because I put it out on all over my social media, I love being here. All of you guys know, me being Mama Wolf. I've come on, we've done parties, we've done cosplay, I've gamed, I've done all kinds of silly stuff. So this is very different, obviously, and I'm so honored that, Obo wants to do the PAWCAST, and we do need to give a shout out to Sydney for coming up with that name.
Yes,
that's very cool. PAWCAST.
So the name was going to be either Wolf Talk, right? Because Galactic Wolf Pack. Yeah. It was either going to be Wolf Talk or Wolf Cast, right? But Sydney, big shout out to the Pencil of Death.
Yes.
Said, why don't you call it PAWCAST? Because some of the emotes that we have on the when we're gaming on the Kick channel and stuff like that, we do have like the poggers, like pogging. It's poggers, right? But we have the poggers, or we have like pogging. We have positivity. So she was like, PAWCAST, and I was like, I love that. I freaking love that. That's amazing. That is amazing. Now I have my glasses on and the text is still too small. I am a dinosaur. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone and I'm gonna look like this because you know what I mean. I
gave him a lot of good traits.
She did.
Personality traits.
She did. She definitely did.
Physical traits, but the eyesight was not one of them. Huh?
Your strength.
Yeah, but the eyesight was not one of them, and you know what? That's okay. It's correctable with glasses, so. We're okay. Could be worse, right?
It could. No, facts. It definitely could be. Okay. Now.
I want to check if anybody had any questions.
Yes, I do believe. Yeah. So before we get into this, let's again thank you guys very much for being a part of this live iteration of the PAWCAST. And if you guys are the PAW sub badges as well. Yes, indeed. Part of the logo right there. Yes, indeed. Now, so again, thank you guys very much for being a part of the live iteration of this. And if you guys are watching this once this is a VOD as well, thank you guys very much for watching this once it is a VOD. Appreciate you very much for being a part of this. Now, so I do believe we did have a question. Rise, let me know more about that death run in Gilded. I'd love to hear about that, brother. Love to hear about that, man. I'm glad you're having an amazing day. Let's see here. Not sure why that command didn't work, but let's see here. Glad everything is sounding good. Are you guys able to hear the music now? You guys able to hear that? You guys able to hear the music at all by now? Or is it still kind of the same thing? Okay.
Did anybody have a...
Alrighty, let's see here. So Eternal says, oh wait, do you have a business shout out a fitness jingle instead of the Mama Wolf legendary? It's Mama Wolf now. Well, we got to make one.
Oh, you know what? We'll have to come up with something. We really will. Something cool like it's Mama Wolf yo. We'll have to think about that one. We'll come up with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah, so I've been working on my brand. That's what obviously we'll get into the questions, but I've been working on my brand, and we'll go into kind of how we got to this point, but just speeding ahead a little bit to brand, since Eternal brought that up, is actually, I couldn't ask for two more incredible, talented children. And they're not children, right? They're adults, but they're still my kids, they're still my babies. But, Tanner, Obo, sorry. Obo.
That's my name.
Is so
you guys know it.
So talented with all of this stuff, all this technology. I'm so impressed. And all through this time has learned more and more. Hey mom, look what I learned. Look what I learned. Look what I learned. And so as I've been going through this journey, that has not just been a physical health journey, but it's been a mental health journey, which we'll, talk about. Is I got out, and when I started doing the content, part of that was to kind of come out of the healing process I needed to do for health. And I'm pretty good, I think, for the most part at technology, but man, did Obo and my daughter help me incredibly. So, my daughter is great at photography. She's fantastic. She's great on Canva, a lot editing and things,
Photoshop.
So each of them kind of have their forte of what they're really good at. And so my daughter got my logo, and so I'm going to start using that for my brand. And she's helping me come up with things like we're going to come up with a website. We're going to do a lot of really cool things. So I'm so thankful for both of them to help me do that and to help me be able to share my brand. And what my goal is and what I want is to inspire lifelong health and wellness and being fit for life. So that's kind of what my goal is. So I'll give it back to Obo so he can start, asking the questions. And please feel free to ask any questions. We can try to grab them as we can so that we can answer them as well.
Thank you, Mama Wolf. Yeah. So not a question just yet. I know Eternal had some. Not a question just yet. This is a statement from Crow. Said, no way. That's awesome about you being an RN, and says Crow's mom has been an RN for a long time.
Oh, that is so cool. I love that. And you know what? When the nurses get to talking, we don't stop talking. So if I ever met your mom or we were somehow talking and message or something, we would probably talk for hours because that's just what nurses do. Probably what gamers do too, I guess.
Yes. No, the rabbit holes you can go down and the segues from oh my goodness, it's
yeah. Except the stuff we talk about, some of you guys probably wouldn't want to hear about. We get a little bit in depth with the body and diseases and stuff because nothing bothers us. We can talk about it while we're eating, so it is what it is.
I don't know what she's talking about. That's crazy. I don't know about that. Eternal says, never in my life have I ever told my mom, dap me up, G. I just did. Dap me up, G. Come on. You know what I'm saying?
Over my G.
That's my mom.
That's right.
That's my mama right there. Alrighty.
That's the gaming thing, kind of influencing, which is okay because we have so much fun together.
Mm-hmm. Eternal, about the camera position, that is the way the room is set up right now. That's a little difficult. We did zoom out the camera 50%, right? To get the angle that we have now. And as we move forward in this, we will
try to adjust it.
We'll definitely
because I told him, I said the wall over there looks like this big old empty space. We feel like we should be over there more centered, but we thought, if we messed with the camera and then something messed up, we wouldn't be able to do this today. So we're like, well, we'll do our best.
True. Eternal, you're also nearsighted? I did not know that. My man. You said, if Obo is an old man, says Crow, I'm an ancient because Obo is younger than me. Look, we can be old together. You know what I mean? It's okay. It's okay. Now, Eternal, question from Eternal says, if one has to start their fitness journey, what is the biggest barrier you have seen or felt to have to cross? So actually, that is a question that I have for Mama Wolf. That's a really good question that I have for Mama Wolf later. So we're gonna save that till a little bit later. But that's a fantastic question. Thank you.
Excellent question.
Thank you. Crow says you need glasses to see anyways. I feel this. If I'm trying to watch a movie with Mama Wolf or anything, if it's 20 feet away, nope, I'm gonna be squinting. I'm either squinting or I'm wearing my glasses because I'm not gonna be able to see it properly.
Remember before you got your glasses, we pushed the couch all the way up in the living room?
That is actual Oborrok lore. We would push the couch all the way, way closer up to the TV so I could see it because I didn't have glasses at the time.
The first house that we had before we moved here had a much, much smaller living room. So that really wasn't that big of a deal. The TV was far enough safely for your eyes, but it was a small living room. But this living room was much bigger, which I'm so excited about. I love it. But obviously, if you don't have your glasses on, you're not seeing the TV.
Right. No, that is very true. That is very true. Now, I do believe so, actually, Eternal. The rock cast. That was, That was an idea many moons ago. Many moons ago. And then Crow says, if you're a dino, I'm a fossil. Like I said, hey, we can be old together. You know what I mean? I'm glad the music is fine. Thank you very much, Eternal. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Let me see. Eternal says, each person has their skills and expertise. I'm glad those aligned with your own stuff. Thank you. Thank you, Eternal. Thank you very much, man. And yes, we could do that in shorts too. We could, indeed. You said another question, if one starts making fitness-centered content, what is often, hold on, I can't really see that, most requested in high demand to watch that you saw from your view/experience.
Okay.
What would be, so that's a fantastic question to start out, actually.
Yeah.
What is
in the content, like
if
what
you
what
have
seems
seen
to be?
yeah, if you have seen anyone ask for a specific type of fitness centered content, what has been the kind of general, like, hey, make this kind of
Make
fitness
more
content,
of this.
right? Yeah.
Okay. I definitely will say that nutrition is a big deal. And one of the things that on some of my content that does really, really well is meal prepping. Easy recipes, desserts, things that look good. Man, let me tell you what, when you find a good recipe and you show how to make it and you give the recipe, people eat that up. They love it. And I actually have a lot of people that I follow and look for their content. So I'm always going to all these different people and looking for something healthy they've made or something easy that I can replicate. And of course I give them credit because it's not, I didn't make it. So if I remake it, I'm saying this recipe came from so-and-so. And it does really well. So on all my content I've done, people definitely love that. I will say a lot of them love the goofy stuff, the silly things, the silly jokes and stuff like that. They get a kick out of that when I do like the goofy ones. The inspirational ones, let me tell you, when you talk about how difficult your journey was and how you have overcame that, I would say that's huge too, because a lot of people that really want to be on a fitness journey that are struggling with being overweight or not being healthy, when they see somebody else who has overcome, that is incredibly inspirational. So while a lot of people have asked for the meals and that kind of thing, the number one thing that I have heard through my journey is you are an inspiration. You are an inspiration. And so it's just showing up every single time I post, showing them that I'm not going to give up, that I keep going, that I keep going, that I keep going. And this wasn't something that I just made the decision to do, and in a couple of months I was at my goal. This is going to take me a long time. I had a lot of weight to lose. I had a lot of hurdles to overcome. And so that's what I hear over and over and over again. So honestly, the number one thing people love is the inspiration, like seeing somebody else thriving and then feeling inspired to do that as well.
Yeah.
That's big. That's really, really
being
big.
able to inspire people and teach them what you've learned.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Being able to teach them what you've learned and being able to guide them in the direction of consistency for life change as well.
It makes people feel like they're not alone.
Yeah.
Because I will tell you, I can't obviously speak for young people, for men, people that are not in my demographic, but those in my demographic, I would say, are kind of the empty nesters, the women that are the 40 to 60. Because I obviously I want to inspire youth as well as people older than me. I want to inspire men as well, because we all need to take care of ourselves. But in my demographic, a lot of women have gained weight. They've stopped taking care of themselves because they've always taken care of their children, their husband, or maybe their moms or their dads. And we don't put ourselves a priority. And so we have gained weight, we're tired, we're fatigued, we don't take care of ourselves. And that's kind of like the big thing is they want to see somebody that can say, I get you. I understand where you're at, and this is how I overcame it, and this is a battle. People really, really want to see somebody else who's overcome a struggle they're going through and go, if she can do it, I can do it too.
Which can be very encouraging.
Very encouraging and very inspiring. That's why that word big, inspire, is a big, big word. Yeah, for sure.
No, that's amazing. Thank you for explaining that.
Sure,
Thank you very much. Now, right before we get to the questions that I have for you, we got a few more messages from the Wolfpack. Thank you guys very much. We have, let's see here. So meal prep. So Eternal says meal prep makes sense. Rise Up says also that Rise's sister has some eye complications as well.
Okay.
Right? Maybe needing some glasses.
Yeah.
And then Eternal says, I blame the old CRT TVs when I was like 6 years old for my nearsightedness.
Right.
Totally not the endless days staring at the screen that I'm doing now.
When the wonderful world of Disney came on and you wanted to be glued to it.
Oh, yes. I can't even tell you how close I was to that TV.
Yeah.
Remember that box TV grandma got me?
Yeah.
I had this box TV that my grandma got me, and I would sit like a foot away. Like I would literally sit like a foot away, if not closer. I was, your boy's eyeballs were in the TV, alrighty? And I wonder why I need glasses today. Imagine, that's crazy. You know what I mean?
At least your eyes aren't as bad as mine.
Absolutely
They're like
crazy.
probably about a tenth as bad as mine. So you're good for a while.
Is my eye badness gonna level up?
Hopefully.
Hopefully? You want my eyes to get worse?
No. I guess
goodness.
level up was, maybe I wanted to understand level up. Like hopefully it'll just like chill out.
Shoot, golly, that's crazy. All right. Let's get into the first question that I have for you.
Right.
Alrighty, so Mama Wolf, by the way, again, thank you for your time.
Of course.
Appreciate you.
Thank you for letting me be here.
Yes. Now, actually, one quick thing before we get into this. You were talking about different meal preps.
Yeah.
And we actually have something really cool for you guys.
Yeah.
We are going, what is it called?
Kind of like a healthy banana pudding. It's not really pudding, but it's sort of like a healthy, you guys know banana pudding, like with the Nilla wafers and bananas. So we're making a healthier version of that I got from a gal on Instagram. I love her and her meal prep. It's Michaela Fit Thomas. So I love all her stuff, love making her food. Every time she posts one, I'm like, I'm going to add that one, my dear. I'm going to add that one. So we got this one from her, and I can obviously come up with a whole bunch of other ones from what, she suggested. But I made this for the first time, and they love banana pudding with the Nilla wafers. And, we just don't always make it. But now that I'm on a health journey, we're really trying to watch like sugar content, we're not like crazy about it, but obviously you want to make things as healthy as possible so that you can enjoy them.
Right.
So we're going to make one of those and show you guys how we did it. So
awesome.
You can make one too.
Awesome. Now also, Royal, thank you for joining us. Appreciate you, brother.
Hi, Royal.
Hello. What's going on, brother? Welcome. Thank you very much for joining us, man. Eternal says, I would also like to know, not now, after your questions, what are your thoughts on the keto diet? It's a new lifestyle. I've seen drawbacks and negatives in adjusting. I've seen a lot of good too.
Yep.
Okay, so we can add that to part of
for sure. Need to make sure we talk about that. Yeah.
So we can definitely talk about that. Also, Sydney says listening from the car, very PAWCAST style.
Yay.
Hey, Sydney, thank you very much for listening, and please drive safely.
Yes.
Alrighty. Let's see here. I'm doing very well, Royal. I hope you're doing well also, brother. Now, the first question that I have for you, Mama Wolf, is what is your earliest memory of any type of fitness or gym going?
Okay. Great question. So I was born in the 70s, but I would say my era was more the 80s because I would have been 10 to... okay, let me think. Let me let my brain work for a second. 10 to 20. Okay, so 10 to 19 in the 80s, which is kind of like your sort of preteen to teenager age. So we consider that our era, right? So in the 80s, if any of you guys remember from parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, whatever, Olivia Newton-John, Let's Get Physical, okay? Jane Fonda, right? So when I was younger, we didn't have the internet, we didn't have streaming, we didn't have none of that. So we literally had local channels, rabbit ears to catch the local channels, and we had a local program in our area called PBS, Public Broadcasting System. And they would broadcast when you had like a foggy day schedule where you couldn't take the bus. But also what would be on would be Jane Fonda. So, she's in her 70s now. The woman is fantastic and an absolute exercise icon. And then Olivia Newton-John, at the time, did Let's Get Physical. And from what I understand, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but when she got married to Matt, I forget his last name, he was quite a bit younger than her. I think at least 10, 15 years, something like that. So she wanted to be healthier because she married a younger guy. And so she did this whole let's get physical. So that's where that song came from. The video was her in her leotard, you know, all that kind of stuff. So my generation for women was very much focused on aerobics. So aerobics, obviously breathing, right? So you're doing the cardio, the, you know, let's get physical kind of stuff. It was all that. So we would work out to Jane Fonda's workouts on PBS at home. Growing up in school, PE was a big deal, physical education. Once a year, you did the presidential physical fitness. So you would have to do sit-ups, push-ups, pull-ups. You'd have to run a mile. And if you met certain guidelines or certain things, you'd get the patch, right? So PE was very much a big focus. Nutrition was a big focus too. So that was really there in school. Nutrition and exercise was really important. We were watching stuff. But what I would say that the struggle in growing up was that my parents didn't follow that. So my parents were not exercisers. We did not really eat healthy. I guess we could say we ate hearty meals, but they were not heart healthy. They were not fat conscious, sugar conscious at all. So growing up, I was fried chicken, dumplings, and fried chicken. Okay. Lots of salt, tri-tip, mashed potatoes, bread, soda, pizza. You know, we ate, right? So as I got older and as a teenager, and we were already really big to begin with, it's just in our family. And in addition to that, my dad was an auto body guy. And so from the time I was 10 until I was 18, I was actually working on cars. And so the big thing that we got was that we were already big girls to begin with, but then we also like had developed these muscles and shoulders, right? For being big.
Really quickly.
Yeah.
She's strong. Like she is really, really strong.
So we had to work with my dad. And
Right.
So we were big, right? We were just big girls. So we were already big. And then because we didn't eat really good, we were starting to gain weight. And, so we did that. We were really, you know, so my parents didn't cook like really healthy food. So I found that I was always on the bigger end, and I would tend to be, as a cheerleader, I was always the base on the bottom. I'd be the one someone was standing on my shoulders, or I was lifting somebody, or if we did the pyramid, I was at the bottom, right? Always. And I'll stop if somebody has to say something, but, you know, it was at the home that the nutrition and the exercise wasn't really promoted. So when we would work with my dad, we would go to get something to eat, and we would go get pizza, we'd get soda, and we would be so hungry because we were working out, you know, working with my dad, that we would just drink soda and pizza, but we would overeat. And then we'd maybe have treats or ice cream or whatever, because you know, that didn't matter to my dad. He didn't care. He just wanted to eat, right?
I had quick question. I knew grandma to always like sweets.
Yeah.
I knew grandma to always, she would always want some kind of cake or coffee or donuts.
Very much. Yeah,
a lot of ice cream as well
Yeah.
at the end of meals. Was that kind of always a thing? Or
Yeah,
for like her.
Yeah.
For grandma.
Well, not just for her. I mean, we definitely had ice cream, and we would do stuff like that. We'd go out for ice cream when we were younger. So we just weren't health conscious as a family. So when I hit about 16, I really hit a place 16, 17. And eventually in my content, I'm going to find those pictures of myself, because I weighed less than I weigh now. But if I showed a picture of myself at 17 and now, you would see that I weighed less at 17, but my face was big. And I looked big, like I looked heavy. Like I looked at 17 at probably 160 pounds, how I looked at 260. So it was just how I was eating. It's odd, like how that works. Like if I am 160, when I get to be 160, I will look like I might have been 125 back then. It's just incredible, like how our bodies look and fitness and all of that. But in that early memory, it very much was, there was that physical push. There was a lot of being physical, but because it wasn't a standard in my home, I didn't do it. And so there was a point where I realized this really bothered me, because I would get teased in school about being heavy, being fat. You know, if you ever had a guy that you liked, if you were heavy, they didn't like you because you're fat. They want to go for the skinny girls. And I say that not, you know, I want to be careful what I'm saying, but you know, those are the words you would hear. Like you would hear, you're fat, you're heavy, you're too big for me, whatever. So you get pushed aside as somebody that nobody wants to be with because you're not attractive.
Treated like
yeah,
you,
and so those were
less.
some of those very early memories that were really painful and would spur you to want to do something about it. But it was always to fix that inner pain, that inner self. It wasn't to work on something for life. It was to fix how you felt. Mm-hmm. And so my sister and I did start going to like aerobics classes and, you know, that kind of thing. But the true, I think, real focus of where I needed to be in my health journey didn't start until I was in my senior year of high school. And that was the very first time I would say that I really paid attention to proper fitness and nutrition.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. Wow. Now, Royal had actually said that he thinks they should bring that back. He says they should bring that back in school.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, for sure.
He said they should bring that back in school because those days PT is not in actuality.
Yeah.
And it's more like if you want to do the sport, do it, but you don't want to do it. You know?
Instead of it being PE for everybody, it's much more sports related, and people can kind of just sit out. Where for us, it was everybody got in a line. They didn't care if it was 100 degrees. You were in a line doing calisthenics. You were doing the windmills and the jumping jacks and all that. And during recess, we were out playing softball. I mean, it was a big deal. You know, back when I was growing up, everybody was active. We were running and tag and chasing each other. And now I feel like on breaks, everybody probably just sits and looks at their phones and TikTok and internet and stuff, you know, which is unfortunate, you know, because we're really teaching our kids not enough about fitness. So the hope is that there will be much more of a move to fitness for the youth, and hopefully seeing that as maybe your parents are getting healthier, that the youth of this generation will follow suit.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
By example.
By example. That we
know?
need to lead by example, for sure. We always have needed to lead by example. And yeah, so I'm hoping to see that. I agree.
You might have seen me smirk for a second.
Yeah.
It's because Eternal said so there was this there is this automated like message for the Fitness Gram Pacer test that it's not a meme, but it became a meme, and it just, whenever something would happen and it was like not to be taken seriously, it was like the Fitness Gram Pacer test is a multi-aerobic whatever, and they would play that.
Yeah.
So when I saw that message, I like smirked and I just chuckled inside because I was like, that it just reminded me of every single meme.
Yeah.
And Eternal says, sorry, that just popped in my head.
No, that's funny. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, that was funny. Now, so Eternal says you were a cheer squad girl?
I was.
Can you touch on that a little bit?
Okay, so in 6th grade, I was a cheerleader. And then I was also in 7th and 8th grade. And then in 9th grade, I had tried out for the flag squad, but I didn't make it. I had to try out before I went into 9th grade, and I didn't make it. So then in 10th grade, I tried out. So in 10th and 11th, I was on the flag squad. So I did fall flag for parades with the letter girls that would carry the letters that represented the school, and then the band. Whenever we would do marching parades and stuff, and then we would carry the big tall flags and move them back and forth. But our group also had short flags, which look like batons. So if anybody's ever seen a baton, you have the 2 rubber ends. Well, this would have just a rubber end here with a little tiny tip, and they would have a flag on it. And then you would learn how to twirl it and throw it up in the air and catch it. do all these really cool things. So I did that for 10th and 11th grade, and we went to competitions.
And do you still have them?
I have one somewhere. I think I would like to try to find some if I can find them online, because I think I still remember how to do it.
Because I remember at the old house,
we did find them when we were trying to clean. Yeah, and I got out there and did it, and you're like, you still remember how to do that? I think some things just don't leave you.
Yeah, I don't know if we still have them.
I think we have one somewhere, or maybe I might have thrown it away and just was like, I just need to buy new ones.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So Royal said, dang, not me, bruh. I got bullied for being a sports nerd. Imagine, really?
Yeah.
It kind of seems like if you are even like in school or whatever it may be, there are just some things like you're not a part of this group, or you don't do this thing, so you get bullied and you're not liked. So then maybe you pick up on that thing and you're like, okay, I'm really good at this, and then you still get bullied. Unfortunately,
because I wasn't in the kind of like, okay, so you guys probably remember like Breakfast Club, right? So they called them the jocks, right? That's what they were called back in the 80s, was the jocks, the sports guys. Now, I don't know what it was like in the sports group. I'm sure there was bullying that went on in there if you weren't as good of a player. But if you were a jock, then you were in. You were in the popular crowd. If you're a cheerleader, you were in. But in that group, as a cheerleader flag girl, I still was kind of shunned a little bit. So there were some people that even though you were in that group, you were still pushed away because you weren't popular, if you didn't hang out with the popular kids and all of that. But in my generation, the ones generally that were teased were the people who were smart. So you were called nerd or bookworm. And then if you were in the band, you usually were like, called names. And then if you in the band, yeah, if
the
you were
band was like not cool.
Yep. Yeah, I think they would call us like, am I gonna get in trouble for saying certain words? I have to know what I can and cannot say.
So just
okay, well, I won't get into it, but obviously you would have names that you would be called. So if you were in the band, you actually were made fun of for being in the band.
It wasn't cool to bust down on the trombone.
No,
wow.
it was cool. But it wasn't as cool as being a cheerleader and the jock, right? Wow. And then, of course, if you were smart, you were teased for being smart. And then if you kind of were like, so we very much had cliques back then, like very much. So we had our agricultural people. We had kind of our metalhead kind of, skater, stoner kind of type people. Like we all had our little cliques. And generally the popular ones were the cheerleader and the sports. And so then those sometimes tend to look down on all the other groups. But yeah, it was very much cliquey back then in high school. Yeah, so that's unfortunate that in your guys' generation, somebody who played sports was teased. But I think it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters anything about who we are, whether it's our nationality, our, whatever it is. There's always going to be people in any generation, in any nationality, in anything that is obviously not happy enough with themselves, so they have to tease other people. And that's the place I've gotten to in healing, is realizing that when people tease you, they are lacking of themselves in some way, because people who feel good about themselves would never tear somebody else down.
Very
never,
true.
Never.
No, very true. I think this is something you've said before as well. You've said you can't give what you don't have.
Right.
So if people don't have that self-love, if they can't look at themselves in the mirror and being like,
they can't give it to you.
Yeah. I love me and I'm proud of me.
Right.
Then how could they give that to somebody else?
That's correct.
Which, could be flipped on its head as well, right?
Yeah.
Somebody could feel so bad about themselves that they don't want others to feel that way, right?
Yeah.
But
well, that's kind of how I raised you guys.
Yeah.
Because I always raised you never to tease other people. And I always, and so I taught you guys from that if you don't feel good about yourself, you do not want to make somebody feel the way you do. You would never, if you don't like how people treat you, you would not want to treat someone that way. So I taught him and his sister that the last thing you want to do is make other people feel the way you wouldn't want to feel. Treat others the way you want to be treated. And I was very big about that with them. So unfortunately, they were not the bullies. They were tended to be the ones bullied on. And we had to work through these are people who don't feel good about themselves, even someone you should respect. Don't feel good enough about themselves because hurt people, unfortunately. And then there's some hurt people who don't hurt people. Very true. People who hurt people are obviously been hurt and they don't know how to process their hurt. So when they project it on other people, maybe it makes them feel better, which is really unfortunate. And so when you're overweight, that is definitely something you get. And it's weird because you could get teased by someone who's thin and you would think, well, they're teasing me because I'm heavy. They're not. Why are they teasing me? But I just feel like whether it's just how we were raised or whatever, it's like it's not okay to tease people. If anything, you want to love and encourage people to be their best, to help them find something good about themselves. But we're just going to have people in our life that are just not good people, you know?
Yeah, it's Eternal says, great point. It's do unto others as you would have them do unto you, not do unto others as they do unto you.
Right.
Yeah, for a good reason. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
No, very true. Now, so we're gonna move into the next question. Thank you guys very much for the questions.
Thank you for the questions.
And thank you very much for your guys' thoughts on this as well, and your experiences with some of the stuff that we're talking about as well. Thank you very much. Now, next question I have for you is what was the biggest struggle you faced over the years throughout your weight loss journey? If you had a recurring theme that presented itself throughout your life entirely, throughout weight loss, throughout the different times that you would go to the gym or you would try a diet, or within again, bringing up the, looking at yourself in the mirror, right? Yeah. Over this last year, what has been, if it was from another person or if it was kind of like a subconscious thing, what has been the biggest struggle you've faced? The biggest struggle?
Well, obviously that's a really deep question because there's a lot of healing that has to go into my childhood, as I said, with the way I was raised and how, you'll hear a lot in the health community, especially women who have worked on losing weight, that we have to change our relationship with food. That's a really big deal right now, is what is your relationship with food? But I would say that my biggest hurdle and struggle, my entire struggle from, I'll date it back to 15 or 16 years old to now, is accountability.
Yes.
Accountability.
Yes, accountability is huge.
I would say that if I had a childhood friend, 15 or 16, or a family member, my sister or somebody, who we decided to be on a health journey and we stayed with that this whole time, I would have never gained the weight because I would have had someone holding me accountable and I would have held them accountable. And so with that being said, I looked for accountability and I gave it to the wrong people. And those people actually did not hold me accountable and actually tore me down and gave expectations of me that I could not give. And so it actually did the reverse effect.
So even though others were not willing to help you on this journey, they were expecting you to be further in this journey.
Right. So,
like, you're not going to provide guidance throughout this, but you're going to expect me to already have results.
So, if somebody were to ask me, what was, because I did kind of tell you guys that when I really got my focus of where I wanted to be, and the first time that I was successful with proper nutrition and exercise was when I hit, I don't know, 17 or 18. It was my senior year, and I was a senior in high school, but I chose to go, instead of being the captain of the flag team and staying in high school all day long, I actually left right about lunchtime and I went home, and then I went to college. So I actually did the college program too that you insisted. And I actually took college classes. And the first class, one of them I took, because you have to do 2 PE classes, was fitness and health. And I think at the time I knew about my weight because my sister and I would randomly go to gyms and do different things. But I got on the scale, because we didn't have, I don't think we had a scale, or we'd have a scale at home different times. And I got on the scale at the school because we had to, and she would, the teacher would measure your weight, and then you had certain exercises, bikes and running and different things you had to do. And I was 173. Now, I can tell you guys, I'm not 173. And when I get to that place, I'm going to look so much better than I did then. So it's odd, and it's something I have to work through. Like, I look so much worse then. Now, obviously, I was not a mom. I hadn't had children. I wasn't on a fitness journey. And so I was that weight because of the way I ate. So I guess I could say all of that was fat weight, basically, because I had stored fat from the way I ate. So I got on that scale. I was 173, and I was mortified. I don't think I realized how heavy I was. And I said, that's it. I'm going to make this change. And so I did. And I worked all the way through that class, and I kept it going so that when I graduated from high school, I hadn't lost a lot. But when I graduated from high school, I was 155. So I had lost 18 pounds. And it was a good look on me. I looked really good. And then I took it further into college, and I had some big goals and dreams of what I wanted to do. And I decided that I wanted to get a gym membership on my own. And I actually purchased a rowing machine for home.
Now, was this before or after you got the ankle weights? Because I know at one point you had ankle weights.
I probably had ankle weights before.
Okay.
I think I probably had them before, or maybe around that
There
time. Yeah.
is a super cool retro 80s picture of my mom that we found somewhere, I don't know, where this lady is like fully decked out in 80s attire, and she's got the ankle weights on and everything, and she looks like she's about to go hit the craziest workout.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I have to find that picture, and I have to kind of recreate it and show 18 versus 53.
The trend of like people like recreating pictures like 20 years later or something.
Exactly. Yeah. So I had a job. I had a job once I graduated, and so I was making a little bit extra money, and I got myself a rowing machine to do at home. So I was rowing, and I fell in love with rowing, like the rowing machine. And so I got this wild idea that
So really quickly, are you talking about
rowing?
Okay, so you're talking about, I thought, because there's also ones that you do this.
Yes, no, this was the double one where you row like this, right?
The double, I got you.
And so I started rowing over at what now is like GB3 in our area. It was like a George Brown Fitness or whatever they call it. And they had these rowing machines that had a screen, so you could watch yourself actually rowing on a boat, and then you would pull like this. And I would do that. And I think I would do some weights, but I was still in the aerobic phase. That was still in my head. Aerobic. You know, exercise. You know, cardio.
That's why you got them strong shoulders.
Yeah. And so I did that. And I had this wild idea that I was going to go to down south to a college, and I was going to try to get on the sculling team. And if we did well enough, I was going to go to the Olympics. Ooh. That was my goal. I wanted to learn how to scull. If you guys know what that is, you're in kind of like a canoe or boat, and you either can be, I think, by yourself with 2 or like 4 or 5 as a team. And the university down south in Santa Barbara, California had a sculling team. And I love the idea of getting into the dorm, living there, or living with my grandparents who lived there at the time. I was going to join the sculling team, and if we made it to the Olympics, I was going to do that, and that was exciting. And so that kind of was where I was going, in the gym and everything, and then I met the dad, right? So my entire focus became about meeting the dad, and all of a sudden, I'm thinner, and I'm attracting guys, and that felt good. It felt good to finally have people show interest, because they didn't in high school, and it was very painful. Now guys are paying attention, right? I think it's college, you're older, but you know, you're thinner or whatever. And so I met their dad. And of course, so I'm smitten and crazy about him and all of that. Fast forward to getting engaged. And I wanted to stay on this journey. And he was definitely not a workout person. Like, we never worked out or anything together leading up to that point. And then we had this apartment. So I think I still had the gym membership, or we let it lapse, and I wanted to go together. And so I'm kind of leading up to accountabilities. I'm telling you guys, I want to lead up to this because there is sometimes something that one person can do that can damage you for the rest of your life if you let it. And that's why I have to heal this relationship with my weight and with food and with everything, because we were engaged, and I had a job at a hotel, and there was a guy that came to work there who needed a place to stay. So we said, there's an apartment available in our apartment. And my fiance at the time, their dad became friends, and he had a 2-bedroom apartment, and one of them he put weights in. So of course, those of you guys who are guys know that it's really cool to work out with guys. Big, tough, could do this, come on, And I get that. That's really, really, really important that you have the guy to lift you up and encourage you and no BS, get going, But women need that too. And we need it from other women, but we do need it from our partner. It's very important. And the number one, I think in this moment, in this subject, if you're a guy and you have a girlfriend or a wife, you must encourage her. You have to encourage her. You have to be involved in her health journey. You have to encourage her because she is looking to you for that encouragement. She needs to take care of herself, but she's looking to you to encourage her.
And
also, vice versa.
And also about the bringing back up the accountability is you have to have accountability for you, right?
Yes.
Like you're saying, have the accountability gym partner guy, if you're a guy or something like that, right? Or, whatever the situation is. But also you have to be your spouse or partners you have to be their accountability. Too,
you really need to be. It's important because you're living with that person all the time. Like you're going to see your gym partner a certain amount of time, but you're with your spouse, your wife, your children, whatever, you're with them the most of your time, and their health needs to matter to you because what happens to them happens to you, right? If you really truly care about each other, then their health and their wellness has to be just as much important to you as it is your own to yourself. So they were working out together, and that was great. And I respected dude time. That's cool. They'd play video games together and stuff. Cool. Do you? That's fine. But I wanted to start going to the gym together. And because I had moved into another area of town and kind of away, I really didn't stay connected with my high school friends, which was kind of a bummer. I really didn't have a lot of solid friends. Like I had friends here and there, but I didn't have a lot of solid friends, didn't have the best relationship with my sister. So I really didn't have anybody solid in my life that was working out or doing anything. So my expectation and my accountability were to who? Him. I put my accountability on him. I put my value on him. If I am thin, if I'm healthy, if I look good, it will make him happy. And so what happened was I said, I want to go to the gym. I want to be healthy. I want you to work out with me. And he uttered a phrase in that moment that I will carry with me forever, that I am not going to let change my journey, but it will carry with me forever. And he said, you do not motivate me. You do not motivate me. So what he said was that I need a dude to help me stay fit. If I go to the gym with you, I will not be motivated. And that was his way of saying, I'm sorry, but I cannot hold you accountable. I need to be held accountable by a dude. Wow. So at that moment, I basically just threw up my hands and I said, okay, that's it. Now, I will say this so that you guys know, I accept full responsibility for that. Okay, because I can't blame somebody else for the words they say and have that affect my entire life, and then always point and say it was his fault, because I'm in charge of me. I'm in charge of my body, my health, my mental health. But because I was so young and so impressionable, what he said, I took so much to heart because I wasn't healed within myself that crushed me.
And it's also like what Royal is saying here, that, no matter the circumstances, you're still a human, and you need a push in the right direction and that positivity, right?
You do. And
accountability is huge because, again, like the situation with Dad was wanting to get ripped and big and buff, but he needed his own accountability to get there, but he was not being accountable to you to help you get there.
And there's no reason that a guy can't have a guy. That's okay, because if he wanted to lift heavy, I don't know if I could truly spot him, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But I think he still could have held me accountable. He could have spotted me. We could have done things together.
See, at the end of the day, you could have been like, you could have gone to the gym together.
Right.
Like you're not going to be.
And then we go on the treadmill together, and then he goes, "Hey, I'm going to go do weights with this guy's going to spot me. Are you going to do this over here?" And I could maybe do the machines that don't need a spotter.
Right. And see, the thing is, when you're in the gym, it's so much easier to stay in the gym because you're already there.
Right.
The hardest part about going to the gym is getting in the car and going.
Right.
You know? So if you're already there, you're going to work out.
Right.
Right. You're not going to waste the gas to go there and then,
Right.
Right.
So I was very impressionable and very young, and I put a huge amount of weight on how he saw me. He wanted me thin. He wanted me to be the trophy on the arm. Like, she's beautiful, she looks good. That's what he wanted, but he wasn't going to participate in what it took to get that way.
So then, throughout all of that, would you say your struggle throughout it was not having the accountability you hoped for?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
That's why when you said what's your biggest hurdle, I would say it was accountability.
Yeah.
So that took me through
the push in the right direction.
Right. And somebody to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
So I spent, every time I tried something, maybe there was somebody there who might hold me accountable, but it was somebody I didn't know, or maybe somebody wanted to start this or that, or let's do this weight challenge at work, but nobody ever followed through. And I think it's because we're all really not that great at it in a way. And so anything I ever tried to do was on my own. I ordered Tybo traits, DVDs. If you guys know who Billy Blanks is, Tybo. I ordered Richard Simmons' entire pack of exercises and how to and all that. And I will say very positive things. I want you guys to know about Weight Watchers, Richard Simmons, Tybo, Firm Workout, everything I tried. There's a lot of really, really good stuff out there. There really is. And you have to follow it. You got to make sure it is healthy for your body. It's right. It's not pushing you in the wrong direction. But there's great programs out there. There's great videos. You just have to, you have to be consistent.
You have to find what works for you.
You have to find what works for you. You have to be consistent. But they're not holding you accountable because you have to press play. You have to be the one to do it, and you don't have anybody doing it with you, and that's what makes it hard.
Like you were saying earlier with the content, you have to show up every day.
You do.
And you have to show that you're not going to quit.
And so what basically happened was everything I started, because I had the desire to be healthy and I wanted to, I would start it and I would do it and then I would give up. Because what would happen is something would get in the way, the kids, or we got to go here or there. It was just something, or we weren't eating right.
And it's easy to get like sidetracked.
I could remember that he was gaining weight, but he wasn't like as unhealthy as I was. And we wouldn't really cook really healthy together, like, and I remember that we had some friends that would go to the gym, and I think the wife or girlfriend was like an aerobics teacher. And one time they came over to have dinner, and whatever I made, they felt was like too like fatty or unhealthy. You shouldn't be eating chips and you need to do. And so whenever I would hear stuff like that, I would go, oh my God, I have to change. I need to sign up for Weight Watchers. I need to go to Jenny Craig. I need to do this. I need to do that. And it was always what people said to me that made me think, I've got to do this. I've got to. And then nobody showed me the way and said, I'm going to stick with you through this.
Kind of just expected you to.
You need to lose weight. You need to get there. Exactly.
They weren't willing to lead by example.
Right. And because the majority of that expectation was put onto my husband and he didn't do it, everything was this cycle of I would try something and give up. And I would be successful. I would do different, like the firm workout. I could really tell I was losing inches. And I wasn't really great with like the nutrition, but I mean, I was doing something, like I was really trying, but I was always doing it by myself, always by myself.
So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your insight.
Yeah.
Now, so to change the tune just a little bit and go back onto like, on the meal planning and prepping and stuff.
Yeah.
Over the course of this last year, when you've been doing a lot of the meal prepping and portion fix and stuff like that, has there been the be all end all dish that is your favorite to make, like a favorite full dinner or like breakfast or treat that you've learned to make over this last year for healthier eating and cleaner eating? That's your jam.
Okay.
If you had like one dish.
Oh, I don't know if I could give you one. So I give you one if it's just for me, one. Yeah. My favorite in the morning is scrambled eggs with a little bit of cheese. And because I follow a portion fix system, cheese I'm very careful with. So I do put on a little bit of cheese. I watch my salt and that kind of stuff. But I'll do eggs, turkey bacon, and 2 mandarin oranges. And then I'll have my coffee and I'll put creamer in it because I'm not going to get weird and go, you can't have this, you can't have that. If you do that, then it feels overly restrictive and then you're going to quit, right?
And also, do you think if you are overly restrictive with that kind of stuff, when you reintroduce it into your diet, do you think it can be easy to catapult you the wrong direction?
It can, yeah. So I actually feel like it's important.
You just have to fit within the right portions.
Yes, and find healthy options, but trying not to say that you have to be at 100% all the time because technically if you follow a plan 100%, then going out to eat pizza at Me and Ed's is a no-no.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't want to live like that because that's not living.
You don't want to say no to going to the movie and having a
margarita or a popcorn or something like that. But you just have to find a way to make it as healthy as possible.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's definitely my go-to for breakfast. If it comes to dinner, the one thing that they like the most is the baked chicken.
Yeah.
So I'll take a chicken breast and then I slice it in half so it's smaller, obviously. And then I will put egg. I'll put it in eggs so it's kind of wet, as you would say. And then I put it in breadcrumbs with some seasoning, and I got away from I do sea salt now. I got away from garlic salt. I used to use a lot of garlic salt when I would make food, so now it's garlic powder, onion powder. I'm using more things like fresh onion, fresh garlic, paprika. We'll do more things like that, and I usually will make that with broccoli, and then I'll make like a rice. So we'll make that for dinner, and they really, really like that. And when I make it, I put it in the skillet with either olive or avocado oil, so it's never fried. It's more just being made with that, and it's kind of like skilleted or baked, but it tastes crunchy like you fried it. So it's really good. Those are some of my favorites.
It is really good.
Yeah.
So now, if you were to give 3 to 5, you could say 5 or 3 or however many, right? 3 to 5 takeaways from your fitness journey as a whole. What would you say? What would you say are the 3 to 5 most important things you've learned entirely, or more specifically over this last year?
Okay, so I guess what I would do is if somebody were to say maybe I'll pick 5 because there are a lot that make you successful in it. Number 1 is your nutrition, and obviously we could focus on that more as nutrition. Your exercise should be a combination of weights and cardio, a good combination of both. Hydration is very, very important. You have to drink water, very important. You need accountability. You have to have somebody holding you accountable. I don't care how strong you are. I don't care how determined you are. You need somebody to check in with you. That you're not overdoing it or underdoing it or giving up. Everybody needs accountability. And I think the fifth thing, is your mental health and your sleep. Like, I'm going to group those together. Your mental health is really important, that you're taking mental health days, that you're taking care of your mind, because that's really important, and that can affect your relationship with food. It can affect, stress. You might be stressful and choose to stress eat. You might be stressful and choose not to push play on your workout or go to the gym. And if you're not sleeping enough, it really puts a big damper on your health, very much. So I think those are the 5 real big, even though like in the mental health, the sleep, I put with the mental health kind of, it's more of a physical thing, but I think the sleep and your mental health is really, really important. But I would give those as the 5 really important things that I think make for a really good health journey. And it should be for life.
Yeah.
You might be in the weight loss phase or the muscle building phase, and then you've got a maintenance phase. So you have all these different phases that you're in, or you're trying to gain weight because maybe you have celiac, or you can't gain weight or something. So whatever your phase is, you have a phase to get you to your goal, and then you have to maintain.
Right.
And so that's why, for my motto, it's fit for life. It's inspiring health and wellness for life. It's not meant to be a diet. It's not, okay, when I meet my goal, I can go back to how I was before, because that's why we fail.
Right. You're making this change for...
It's for life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, see, it's as well. Eternal is saying the Tebow was Eternal's jam.
Oh yeah, I love Billy Blanks.
Billy Blanks was very motivational. And Eternal says there's no such thing as a bad food. It's just such a thing as too much of one specific food. Right. You can have cheese. You can have different things. Well, and along
that, when you're done, let's answer his question about keto, because we're talking about nutrition.
Yes. Yeah. Now, but also a pizza every once in a while is not super unhealthy, and too much salad will give you too much trace minerals than your body should have.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing as well. Like, you got to drink, X amount of water every single day. Too much water can be a problem. You got to have portions, right? You got to have a proper...
Everything in moderation.
Yeah, moderation for everything as well. That message I actually cannot see on the phone chat. Let me put my dinosaur glasses on real quick. Hold on. Eternal says, hot green tea is a great start for your morning, but I've seen multiple people have extreme amounts of lead and mercury in their blood from drinking 3 to 5 cups of it a day. Wow. I mean, 3 to 5 cups. Yeah. I mean, I think it could probably be the same for coffee as well. Well, you can have coffee. Coffee's not a problem, but if you're having 5 cups of it,
too much caffeine or
5
things
cups
that are in
day,
it, right.
Double shot espresso.
It comes down to moderation. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you, the younger ones of you, how you were raised with nutrition. But if you guys remember, if any of you remember Schoolhouse Rock, or if you remember
Schoolhouse Rock was my
when
jam.
We were growing up, and you remember the food pyramid, right? Now, if you look at the food pyramid, it maybe isn't 100% where we need to be. But if you look at the food pyramid, okay, and you think about what they were trying to tell you in that, what was at the bottom? Fruits and veggies, right? That needs to really be the base. You need your fruits and veggies. They need to be in moderation. Obviously you don't want to have a lot more fruit because there is sugar in fruit. But one of the things I've always heard is fruit's so high on the glycemic index. And, I've heard all these things in it, and I'm like, I'm not listening to any of that stuff. I'm going to do fruit in moderation. Yeah. Obviously, I'm not going to have, 10 servings of fruit, because that's not realistic for my body, right? It's more than my body needs.
Exactly. Like, you can have blueberries.
Yes.
But don't eat the entire container.
Exactly. Exactly. So then under that or over that, you had the grains. Okay. And so that'll lead into the keto, the grains, right? The grains, was really important. They had the proteins, they had the dairy, then the fats and the sweets, right? And so as the pyramid went up, these were the things you shouldn't have as much. So it just showed that sweets you're not supposed to have a lot of, fats you're not supposed to have a lot of, and in the dairy, they wanted you to kind of keep it under control because we had so many people that started showing up being lactose intolerant. And, you know, when I was raised, a glass of milk was that. I mean, you were literally a huge glass of milk. And when you look at that and you think how many servings of milk that was, it was incredible. But if I had like a steak dinner and it was steak, mashed potatoes, I would get the big 16-ounce glass and pour a whole thing and drink that. That might have been why my bones are so strong, but, you know, that was way more milk than I needed to have. So there wasn't moderation there with that.
Right.
So yeah, about the keto diet. Okay.
Yeah. So to answer Eternal's question from earlier, what are your thoughts on keto?
So
because Eternal had said seen a lot of
good and bad. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to say is more of a general thing, and I want to preface, because this is being recorded and because people are listening, I am not a dietitian. I am not a doctor. I am only giving the what I have learned from me and what I have found for me and what I have seen in this last year of what works and doesn't work for myself and for other people. So, and so I'll just comment on an opinion of why I have not chose anything like that. The first thing I will say is very generally, one of the decisions I made when I started this journey is I was not going to be on a diet. Right. And I cannot preface that enough. And I say that in a lot of my content. I'm not on a diet. I will not say the words, I'm on a diet. I can't eat that on my diet. I won't say it because the diet has an end. And if you're on a diet, you're going to say, I can't have that piece of cake. I'm on a diet.
From this time to this time.
Right. So it's an end. Now, what happens, because my journey has gone on for so long and I have not been successful, anytime I said I was on a diet, I would go to a party and someone would have a piece of cake and I would go, I can't have that. I am on a diet. I'm fat. I would say something like that, right? And then what happens is then you feel left out, or you feel like you can't have it, or you cave because everybody else is eating it. And now you feel guilty and you're right back to this circle. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I don't use the words diet. The word I use is my nutrition. Yeah. Okay. Obviously your diet is what you eat in your food, but the best thing to say is to use the word nutrition, how you fuel your body. Okay. So with that being said, I don't agree with things like the keto diet or paleo diet or Atkins diet because the word is diet. Now, keto is surfaced around being careful with the amount of carbs. So what is that bad? Not necessarily, because those of you, I'm sure a lot of you know that the carbohydrate is the body's first source of energy. It's the first thing it goes to. So if any of you guys remember from science class and you remember cellular respiration, I'm getting a little technical here, okay? When you're doing cellular respiration, the cell uses 2 molecules of glucose to make the part of cellular respiration. I'm not going to explain it great, right?
Welcome to the podcast where we talk about biology.
So your body for energy is going to use carbs, okay? And it's going to use the simple carbs first, your sugars, because that's the fastest thing that your body can break down first. Then it's going to break down your complex carbs. Then it will break down fat. And then if it breaks down muscle, then you're in protein muscle wasting, which is not a good thing. So that's malnutrition, right? So the keto diet is very low in carbs, and they'll focus more on proteins and veggies. The only thing I have seen in it is I see a lot of cheese. Okay, so my only concern is that you'll see very little rice or potatoes or whatever. There'll be some, right, which is good, but you'll see more veggies with protein, but then you'll see lots of cheese. Okay, Now, if they're not measuring the cheese, then the problem is that now you're adding a high fat diet. Okay. Now, for people like myself who were struggling with heart healthy, a lot of cheese is not heart healthy. A lot of avocado is not heart healthy, right? You can still have them, but you need them in moderation, and it needs to be what's best for you. Doesn't have to be what's best for him. He can eat more cheese and avocado than I can. I can't, right? So when I went to the cardiologist, he didn't name a keto diet, but he said, don't go on one of those diets where you are going to eat a bunch of cheese and avocado. He said, because those are not heart healthy. So I don't really have a problem per se about if somebody wants to focus more on keto, because I've seen people on my feed who've lost 100 pounds. And all I would say to that person is, I hope that you are eating everything your body needs, including carbs, in the right quantity. And when you meet your goal, can you then level up to maintain that weight and reintroduce more carbs as you build muscle or you exercise? Because once you've lost the weight and your body doesn't need to burn fat anymore, now you're going to have to fuel that exercise. So your body's going to need more carbs. It's going to need more protein. It's going to need more food. And if you keep eating that way, you could put yourself at the risk of having nothing for it to burn, and it will start going after your protein. If it goes after your muscle, you will muscle waste. And that's very dangerous and can cause lots of problems. So with that being said, I will just generally say, for me personally, and not for anybody else, because people can do what they want to do. This is my journey. My opinion and my recommendation is you don't diet. You figure out what you should be eating in a well-balanced, healthy nutrition plan that is that has everything you need for your body and your goals, and you are able to adjust it as your goals change.
Because again, as Mama Wolf said, a lot of diets have an end date. Right. So she again wants to preface she's going for life change.
Lifelong.
This is a lifelong journey,
so
not a start and an end.
So if you're going to be on anything where maybe you have to dramatically cut what you're eating because you're trying to burn fat, okay, let's say you've got a lot of fat, you need to get rid of it. You need your body to feed off the fat. So if you eat too many carbs, then your body's going to burn the carbs. It won't burn the fat because it's going to burn carbs first. So yes, you do need to have carbs in moderation, because if you don't, it won't go after your fat, right? But you need extra protein because your body is going to use the protein to, I'm still learning a lot of this, right? It pushes you as you're building muscle and you're burning. It increases that metabolism, the good amounts of protein, right? So it helps you burn your fat faster. And you need to do that. Once you get where you need to go, you have to adjust. And once you meet your goal, you have to have a maintenance plan. And if, let's say, you meet your goal of weight loss and now you want to bulk, let's say you're a dude who's lost a whole bunch of weight and now you want to really bulk, you're going to have to ramp up that nutrition. Right. But you have to make sure you ramp it up enough where you're not going to put all the weight back on again. You want to put on lean muscle mass. So that's where that accountability with people you can trust, finding the right sources, checking in with your doctor. There's a lot of good sources, and you want to find the right people to guide you in the right direction. And that's really important. Be your own advocate too. Very important to be your own advocate and make sure you do what's best for your body. And I think along the lines of on your nutrition, I think it's important to allow yourself to incorporate things that you enjoy and not feel like you have to follow something 100%, because none of us are perfect.
Right.
That's why with breakfast, I will have coffee. I put stevia in it for sweetener, but then I will put the creamer in. And I am looking for healthier creamer options, but I will put the store-bought creamer in, and I enjoy that as part of something that I enjoy. And I'm always looking for healthier versions of that, because obviously things that are store-bought like that have a lot of chemicals in them that are really not best for you. So I'm working on that, but I've been able to have my coffee every morning and I've still lost weight. So it just goes to show that you don't have to cut everything out and say, no, 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 right? I've had a Starbucks during my journey a couple times. Obo and I've gone to Boba. We've had that. I've had Little Caesars pizza. I've had Domino's pizza.
Did not think boba slapped as much as it does, and it does. Wow, my goodness.
Part of my journey, like the first probably 5 or 6 months, I was still eating at Taco Bell. And I remember having a friend who wanted to interview me on her plan, and her coach or her guy was blown away that I was eating fast food. That's poison. It's this, is that. You know, at the time, I was stuck on, I loved Taco Bell and I was stuck on it. And I had to heal that relationship with that. I had to go, it's okay to have it, but maybe you could eat healthier because you have goals and you want to meet those goals. It's not that it's bad to go grab a taco or burrito or power bowl, but maybe I could eat a little healthier and then I can fish it in here and there if I want to, right? So for the longest time while I'm exercising, I still ate at Taco Bell when I would go to work. But what I started doing was, instead of getting maybe the nacho fries or the really heavy duty stuff, which I would still buy once in a while.
You get the Power Bowl.
I would get the Power Bowl, and the Power Bowl was good. Here's the thing that's the frustrating thing though. Those Power Bowls became $6 or $7. And I could make the same thing for probably $2 and just bring it and heat it up at work. But the difficult thing for me being a hospice nurse is I'm in my car a lot. So I don't have a fridge. I don't always have access to a microwave. So I really had to rethink, how am I going to bring food and make sure I eat appropriately? And so my dinner that I would eat has to be later when I know I'm probably going to be at the office or at our hospice home where I can use the microwave.
Right.
But I'm having to figure out, now that it's really hot in California in our area, I'm going to have to get a really good ice chest because my food's going to bake in my car.
You won't need the microwave then.
Right, exactly. You know? So it's very much a journey of discovering what is best for you, and nobody can really tell you what's best for you. They can give you a guide, and then you have to try to figure out what's best. And it really needs to be about health. And not focused on, you can't have this, you can have that, not enough of that, count these calories, what are these macros?
Right.
You know, you're going to drive yourself crazy if you're going to count every calorie, every macro. You want to have a guide and you want to shoot towards that, but you're going to drive yourself crazy if you write everything down. You know, just a guide is the best thing. And I'll tell you that I've done this for over a year, and I've only lost 60 pounds in a year. And
only?
Well, I know it's a lot of weight. Yes.
Can we get some clappers in the chat? Can we
60 pounds?
Can we get some clappers in the chat for Mama Wolf? Come on now.
And if you guys get a chance to look on any of my social media platforms, you'll see the before and after, and it's pretty significant.
Again, if you guys do want to check out Mama Wolf on her socials, her links are in the description down below.
Right.
Now, Mama Wolf, with that being said, we have one question from Eternal.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Swizzle Stick?
I have, but I don't know what it is, but I think I've heard of it.
Okay.
Yes.
Eternal, would you elaborate?
Need to elaborate.
Would you elaborate,
but
sir?
I've heard of it.
And during that process, I got one final question for you.
Okay.
If you had one main crucial piece of advice to give to someone getting into the world of fitness and or cleaner eating, one main crucial piece of advice, what would you tell them?
One main crucial piece of advice
for someone
starting
getting into it, what would you tell them?
I've already gone over this, and I'll probably say it again, and this will be the most crucial thing. Before you start your journey, you need to find somebody who will hold you accountable.
Yeah.
That's all. I cannot stress that enough. Your nutrition, the exercise, the plan, everything you do is important. But if you truly want to to stay on a health journey, you need accountability. And if you're not somebody who needs to lose weight, you just want to be healthy, that's great. Be accountable. Either be accountable to a friend, post it on the internet for friends to encourage you, grab a friend to do it with you, whatever it might be. Have somebody hold you accountable, because you will come across days where you do not feel like pressing play on the workout, going to the gym. You might have a super bad day and you just want to go raid the fridge, right?
Yeah.
When you have those days, if that happens, it's okay. You just pick up the next day. You don't start over. But if you have somebody that you could reach out to say, man, I have had a really bad day and I have an urge to go eat a whole bag of marshmallows right now. Help me. Tell me don't, you know? You need somebody to hold you accountable. And that was what I was missing this entire time. Was I missing the right way to eat, the right way to exercise, the right way to, you know, yes.
Sis is home, so
that's
the dogs
okay.
are...
Yeah, they probably will.
Yeah, 1 second. Our
yeah, they'll level out in a little bit. They're excited that Mama's home.
Yeah, our dogs are barking. Just give us one moment. So
I definitely can't stress that enough. I think the accountability.
You were saying?
Yeah, the accountability is really, really important. And it will help you focus on lifelong when you're doing it with somebody. That's going to be really important.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I appreciate you.
Yes.
Some wonderful answers and insight from your personal journey and experience with this. Now, we have a nice treat to make, do we not?
Yes.
So,
you know what?
Yeah.
If you don't mind, after we make the treat, we didn't really talk about the seriousness of why I started.
Yes.
Because we didn't really talk about that. I think
that.
some people do know that, but maybe like what moved me to start.
True.
Yeah.
Very true.
But yes, let's make this.
So let me show you what we got here. Let me show you guys what we got. Let me go ahead and hook this up real quick. So you guys already know I gotta go crazy on that whipped cream, brother. Nah, not gonna go crazy, but you know. Little something, a little dollop, right? You know?
All right, and then we have this.
So this right here, this is what we got. This is what we got right here. A little healthier
banana pudding, sort of, yes.
Banana pudding. Kind of what, custard maybe?
Probably,
no? Yeah?
kind of, yeah.
And a little bit little cookie,
vanilla, yeah.
little cookie crumble on there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A little something. Car guy, thank you for joining us, brother. Hello.
Car guy.
Hello, man. Hello. Now, so we're gonna make this. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna make this. That one's pre-made, right? You know, I'm gonna eat that one because you know what I'm saying. I don't care if it's sat out for a little bit. It's still good. But we gonna make a fresh one. All right. So we gonna make a fresh one. We're gonna show you guys how we make that.
All right.
So
again, I want to say that this one came from Michaela Fit Thomas, who is on Instagram. If you guys want to check her out, we can figure out how to link her too. I found her scrolling and I was really looking.
That smells so good.
I do portion fix with, it was Beachbody and now it's Body, my exercises and everything. But I love finding other creators because there's nothing wrong with that, right? That would be like, oh, I can only eat what Portion Fix tells me, so I can't go eat at Little Caesars. It's ridiculous, right? So I found her because she does a lot of the meal prep, right? And I'm still trying to figure out how to meal prep my meals. Like, so I take hers and I kind of fit them around the portion, and she'll use something from a jar. I might make it fresh. So I take her ideas and I kind of change them around a little bit. Absolutely adore this lady. She is just as sweet as pie and has the coolest great, yummy recipes. Everything that I have made the kids that she's done, as well as what's been on my my portion fix and my own foods, they've loved it. And the exciting thing is that my kids have loved this journey that I've been on, and the food that I've been making is good. They love it. They feel healthy, and they're happy that I'm healthy, which is awesome. So this is anybody have ever had banana pudding, with the Nilla wafers? Show what a Nilla wafer is, right? You guys know what that is, right? The Nilla wafer.
So we're going to take these, we're going to put them at the bottom of the dish.
Right.
Okay.
And so then what you do, because normally you would make banana pudding, right? And so banana pudding, unless you get sugar-free, is going to be filled with a lot of sugar, right?
So check this out, actually. So
yeah.
these are 80 calories. This whole little tub right here.
That's banana cream Greek yogurt.
Right, and it's got 80 calories, 12 grams of protein, 0 fat.
Yes. Now, this does have sucralose in it, okay? And you guys will probably hear that there's been a buzz about sucralose causing leaky gut and all this kind of stuff. So here's what I'll say about that, okay? Same thing about aspartame and stuff like that in diet sodas. Mm-hmm. Okay, here's the deal. In a huge quantity, yeah, I think that would be a problem. So if you were completely focused on all of your anything sugar content with sucralose and it was a ton, yeah, I think you could put yourself at a risk of having GI issues and stuff. So you really have to kind of figure that out for yourself. But I'm not going to worry about having a little bit of that in something. You just can't take it out of everything, right? So you make things the best that you can. You make them as healthy as you can, and that's what's important. So this is a treat, obviously, to have, but what's good about it is it has a lot of protein. So you're getting to have a sweet treat or dessert, but it has protein in it, which is super cool. So you actually get this Greek yogurt, right? And because they have so many different flavors, the other one that she made is a key lime pie. And so she got this same stuff, and it was the lime flavor, and she shredded a lime zest inside. She put a little bit of like a pudding powder and a little bit of the spray cream, and then she put that in the little tiny pie tins. They're about that big. You put the spray cream on, you put a little lime wedge on there and lime zest on top. It is really good. And and how she basically says it is, look, you're having a dessert, but it's small. So you're satisfying that sweet tooth, you're getting protein, and you're getting something sweet, but it's in moderation.
Right.
So that's the really cool part of it. So what she does with this is gets she'll do vanilla pudding or French vanilla cheesecake, something like that. You might put a little bit of this in. I don't have the thing to measure it.
This is a Jello pudding?
Well, pudding mix. So but it's made by Jello.
So this is a pudding mix. You put about
it could be
tablespoon,
2 teaspoons, whatever you feel. But you're just kind of giving it sort of like a cheesecake flavor, sort of. So you can find different ones like that. And if you want to get the sugar-free, obviously you can. Again, we're talking about being careful with artificial sweeteners. So, everything in moderation, like we said. Want to get the spray cream?
Yep.
So then she'd take a little bit, put a little bit of that in there. So you're putting just a little bit in.
Oh, I can't.
Here, I'll do it.
I can't get it.
There you go.
I'm holding it at the weird angle.
So you put a little bit of this in, right? So you know that it's yogurt. It tastes like yogurt, but it has a little bit of a cheesecake flavor. Mix it up really, really good. And you put about half of it on top of about 4 or 5 Nilla wafers. And I learned these little cool things are called ramekins. I didn't know what they were, but these little dessert dishes are called ramekins. And you put that on, okay? And then slice up some bananas. And so you line the bananas in here. Bananas are good for you, of course. Right, so put the bananas in there. Okay, then you'll take the rest of the yogurt and put it on top. How many of you remember when Obo's done different streams and he'll do like food stuff? He's always joking and making us laugh. I think my favorite was when we did the skeleton veggie tray. Do you remember that?
Also, yes. Also, the Frankenstein.
And the strawberries. Oh, yes.
And Frankenstein.
Yes, the Frankenstein and then the strawberries.
Bro, I just bit that man's dome off.
Scary.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
What was that one?
Scary Gary.
No. What was the one for the rapper?
The rapper?
Yeah, remember something. Do you remember when you what's that one? I would always laugh.
No idea.
Uzi Vert.
Yeah.
Okay, what's that called? What did you say?
I said ooze. Cause okay, so we made.
Yeah, but you would say something like, what was the thing that you would say? And I would just.
I was
laughing.
like, he's oozing or something like that. And it was because we made.
Obo ate your head or something like that.
Yes, pushed me to the edge. I just ate this man's head or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because then you bit him, right? Go ahead
so
and get that.
The context behind that, if you guys don't know, we've done a lot of cosplay and makeup, and I was a gingerbread man. As a gingerbread man, I had Mama Wolf made like part of my head look like it was like bit out, right? Yeah. But we made actual gingerbread cookies as well. And we had like really cool, like we had a bunch of like frostings and stuff that we put on them. And there was this really like shiny one. And I was like, yo, it's oozing. I was like, hey, yo, it's little Uzi Vert. I was like, push me to the edge. Oh, I ate my head. Freaking, I don't know. I don't know.
Get the spray cream.
And it turned into a freaking meme. So there you go.
We're laughing. Okay, get the spray cream. Then you can put that on there.
There you go.
Put the bananas on.
I can't get it.
Oh,
Wait, no, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, bro,
Okay.
ASMR.
And then you put your bananas on here like that. Obo cut big thick bananas.
Whoa, we thick out here. Come on. I don't know about all that.
All right, put your bananas on here, and then
Boom.
yourself
The crushed Nilla wafer.
cookie crumble.
Boom.
Boom.
Little, you know what I'm saying? A little something. Check that out.
And now you get a little,
Bam.
little something.
A little treat, you know?
There you go.
Alrighty, now.
All right.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you, Mama Wolf.
Yeah,
At this time,
there you go.
At this time, does anybody have any questions for myself or Mama Wolf?
Yeah, do want to talk about just really like kind of quickly why I got started and how serious. Some people probably do remember.
So, while we're waiting, if there is any questions, what was your biggest fear throughout this journey?
It was at the start.
Yep.
Okay, start of the journey. So, as you guys know, I've talked about that I've been overweight. Pretty much my whole life. It's been up, down, up, down. Had a couple of successful times, very young. About when I was 46, for 6 months, Obo and I went to the gym. I was trying to eat healthier, and I did lose, I think a total of like 65. I think I hit 285, which was my highest, and I got down to 220. And then I stopped because he went to school, and then we lost our focus. So that's what I'm talking about the accountability and then stress and not going. So then, up, down, up, down, up, down. Well, in 2020, it became very apparent. And I don't know if it was just kind of like all stress, being overworked, but it was definitely the way that I was eating. I gained my weight back. But now what started happening was I was having irregular heartbeat. I was having very high blood pressure. And I was working 7 days a week, working at my job and taking care of Grandma Wolf. If you guys remember, she was disabled. And during the pandemic, that was really stressful, trying to keep her shielded, trying to protect myself as I was exposed, to not bring it home to my family. And I was under a lot of stress. And of course, because of that stress, I was going to eat fast food, hamburgers, French fries, Taco Bell, and I would overeat out of stress. And I started noticing that my blood pressure was going up. And my doctor did put me on a blood pressure med, but my blood pressure kept going up. So in October of 2020, I ended up in ER. So my blood pressure was really, really high, and I was very stressed about it at work. I came home, and I remember laying on the couch and just going, I don't really want to go to ER, but I need to take this seriously. And I had my daughter take me. And I was there for 12 hours. And I remember that next day, Obo was supposed to be streaming, and he was supposed to be the Joker. And sister ended up doing his makeup and all that, but he was really worried and he didn't want to stream. And I said, absolutely not. I'm fine. They're just checking me out. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be released. I need to take it easy. My doctor ended up having to put me on 8 months of work restriction because I was so stressed, and trying to work that around my job, making sure I got a break and all that. The sad part was I didn't change my eating habits as well as I should have. So 2021 comes around, and some of you guys know the story of us losing the house we were renting and getting this one, and the stress of trying to find a home and move and work and take care of Mama Wolf or Grandma Wolf. I started having about 3 or 4 nights after we moved of waking up with chest pain, palpitations. Sometimes I would feel pain running down my arm, sometimes up my neck. Whenever you hear things like that, scary, you think you could be having a heart attack. So I had to wake my daughter up in the middle of the night and say, I need you to take me to ER. And they did take me. They kept me less this time. They gave me something for the blood pressure. They're like, you're having preventricular contractions. They're not super worrisome, but you need to go see a cardiologist. And my doctor and I had talked about going to see a cardiologist, find out what's wrong. And I didn't go. I didn't have good insurance. I didn't go. I'm worried about, how am I going to take care of work and grandma and all of that. And then in about December, my blood pressure hit over 190. And fortunately, I did get some medication that they'd given me in ER. I got it ordered, and that helped. And the push again was, you need to go to a cardiologist. You need to find out what's going on. And so I did. I called, and I couldn't get in till April. So about March or so, I was talking more about the appointments coming sooner, and both sister and Obo said, Mom, you have to start doing something. Like, I know it's hard to talk about, you need to lose weight, but you need to do something. So before I went to the cardiologist, I cut back caffeine. I started drinking more water, and I started going on walks. When I met with him.
And you don't do any caffeine at all?
Not anymore. No.
Okay.
No. I kind of chose to just stay away from it. When I have my coffee, I have decaf, and I don't need it, so I am fine. If I have some, it's okay, but I try to avoid things that ramp up my heart, right? Because it already would be like jittery. So when I went to the appointment, he did a 2D echo first. So they're doing like an ultrasound, a moving ultrasound of your heart to see the contractility of your heart and see what's going on. Do you have any blockage of this or that? Kind of a starting type of thing. And then I went into the appointment, and he kind of just looked at me really briefly. And he said, you need to lose weight. And he goes, your neck is big. So he goes, you're probably putting pressure on your arteries here, and that might be causing you to have sleep apnea too, because my abdomen was big, and that could be why you're waking up in the middle of the night. He goes, you are at a risk of heart failure or stroke. And he's like, you're a hospice nurse, and you see people who's at the end of life with this. He's like, kind of basically, you should know better. All I can say and then I said, well, what does the echo show? Because I knew what a 2D echo would show. I have to find that research when I'm qualifying a patient for end of life. I have to find out if their heart testing qualifies them, if they're truly at that place, right? And so he said, well, the bottom part of your heart is starting to get stiff. So that's stenosis. And that's why he was like, you are at a risk of heart failure. You could have a heart attack, or you could have stroke. And guys, I was 52 years old. My dad died at 61. He had liver cirrhosis, I'm pretty sure, and congestive heart failure. We lost Grandma Wolf last year, not for the same reasons, but you know, my parents really weren't that old. My dad was 61, and here I am, 52. We just bought this house, and I've got Obo and sister, and I'm going, what am I going to do if I don't take care of myself and something happens to me? What are the kids going to do? How are they going to maintain this house? What am I going to do? And I think one of my biggest fears was, what if they find me and I stop breathing, they have to try to resuscitate me and they can't. And I thought about that fear.
Oh. Gotcha, Mom. All right.
A tough story to talk about. These are these are real feelings that I share in my content, guys, because you have to take care of yourself, because your life is, you know, our life is precious, and the time here on this earth is short, and we need to make the most of this time. And we don't know how much time we have. We can't control like what's going to happen to us, but we can control how we take care of ourselves. We really can. And
I'm gonna give you a tissue.
Yeah, okay. Am I like my nose draining or something?
No, I'm just gonna give you a tissue.
My biggest fear was that I would leave my two kids behind. And worse, to leave them behind with no way to provide for themselves, because I am the main caregiver, or the main provider. And they're both working towards being able to provide for themselves. But, you know, it's really expensive to live. I think a lot of you guys know that. You're all feeling it. And it's hard to be on your own. A lot of people are moving in together to save money so we don't have to struggle. And because I'm the main wage earner, if I had to leave my kids behind and they had to lose this house or fend for themselves, I don't know what I would have done. And I would feel so guilty knowing that I caused that, or that I could have prevented it. And so I think that was my biggest fear, of leaving them behind. And I made this decision for me, and I needed to make it for me, for them. So I couldn't do it for them, because if I did it for them, then it wasn't truly for me. It would be all for them. So your decision to be healthy has to be for you, so that you can be your best for them, or you can be your best for a spouse or a partner or your parents or whatever it might be. So I had to make that decision. And so that was my biggest fear, was what would I do if something happened to me? And along that lines, I chose to get life insurance because I can't control what happens to me. But at least I know that if something does happen, which of course would be devastating, at least I know they're taken care of financially. I want to be here to see Obo thrive. I want to be here to see my daughter thrive. I want to thrive. I want more time with the wolf pack. And so I made a decision to change my life. And I said, this is for good. This is it. You know, no more going back. No more diets. No more none of that. And so when I made this journey, I said, the only way I'm going to be successful is if people hold me accountable. And so I found a group that holds me accountable. Obo holds me accountable. My daughter does. And that's probably why I post all over social media and all over my platforms, because I'm inspiring other people, but by getting their comments back, it keeps me going. It keeps me accountable. Like, they're waiting for me to post. And it's kind of cool. I have this one gal that I met on TikTok. Her name's Tracy. I don't know if she'll see this video or not, but she reaches out to me all the time and she says, you're so inspiring. So one day I had to get to work and I got really busy and I forgot to post, or I didn't get a chance to film my journey. And I think it was day 9 or day 10. And she messaged me at work and she goes, "Are you doing okay? I haven't seen your post for today." Because I literally was posting every day. And I said, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm going to go film right now." And so in my uniform, I found a place in my office and I filmed. And then I sent one of my videos that I had in my draft, and I put that up there. And I realized, oh my gosh, people are waiting for me. They're waiting for that. And they look forward to that, and how important it is that not only did I needed people to be accountable to, people are wanting me to hold them accountable. And that accountability that they hold by is watching my videos. And if I don't post, they don't see it. So that's really important too. You know, I appreciate you guys letting me talk about this in that raw, real moment, because I'm very passionate about health and health journey. And I feel like a lot of diseases and illnesses are preventable, and we don't. And I think that we have an opportunity to have a wonderful life, and we can choose to prevent disease before it gets bad. We can eat healthy. There's so much wonderful stuff out there, and we need to take care of ourselves. You know, we've just got this one life, and we have to make the best of it, right? And so taking care of our physical and mental health is really important.
Incredibly well said. Incredibly well said, Ma. Now, again, thank you guys very much for being a part of today's episode 1 of the PAWCAST. I appreciate you guys very much for catching the debut. Now, do we have any questions? I know Eternal has a couple questions. We'll get to those right now. But does anybody else have any questions, or have we explained things pretty well, and you guys are, you guys are okay with no questions? Or
if anybody has any, you could always message Obo, message me on social media.
Yes, as well. You can put them in the Gilded.
Talk more about things, of course.
Put them in the Gilded as well.
Loving talking about this stuff.
So Eternal says, first question is, someone who worked in the medical field, have you seen people admitted into establishments for exercise-related injuries more than lifestyle-related ones? Your personal experience and view on it. Have you seen people get admitted for
overdoing it on exercise?
Yes, like workout exercise, kind of injuries over
being sick?
Yeah.
Make sure that's okay. So if that's the question, what I would say is
lifestyle related, yeah.
Okay, so what I would say is, in the 16 years where I'm currently working, it's in hospice. And so because it's in hospice, it's end of life. And so these are people who have illnesses that whether they just got diagnosed or whether it's chronic and it has come to kind of last stages, or it's where you really can't do more treatment. These are people who are completely and totally, not so much, like some of it, yes, could be lifestyle related. Maybe they were smokers for a very long time, or they drank, but we get people that get cancer and maybe they weren't a smoker. We get people that have genetic issues, heart issues. I think there are, obviously people who smoke their whole life, that's preventable. There's people who drank their whole life, that's preventable. But, we've gotten people that get cancer because it runs in their family. We get people who get Alzheimer's, dementia at the end of their life. That isn't always preventable. Yes, sometimes diet, exercise, things like that, or nutrition can help with that. But I see people more at the end of their life. We do get some people who don't qualify. We get people who come on to service and they go off and they're good, and then they might come on later, which is a cool thing. Those are always cool things to see. But when I was a nurse way before that, so I got a job in 1996 and I worked until 2000 when sister was about 2.5, and then I quit and I was off for 7 years. So my only experience in the medical field as far as being a nurse was about 4 years in what we call med surge, and then in hospice. I have about 20 years combined with 7 years off and spending more time just taking care of the kids, but keeping my knowledge going. And what I would do is I would take care of people who had surgery. So I would take care of people who had broken hips. I would take care of people who had, uh, different kind of surgeries, like maybe their gallbladder, this, that. And so all of that was they were in the hospital recovering and going home. The people that I would get that would have chronic injuries, after I had Kylie's sister and I went back, were some people on kidney failure that may have been preventable, but some of those people have that because of diabetes, which could be, genetic. So some of that is not always preventable. But I've really never been in the realm of people who have hurt themselves like physically, because I've never really been in kind of a rehabilitative or an injury overdoing it. I didn't spend a lot of time in ER, so I wasn't really in any kind of a place where you got the people that like were rock climbing or those type of injuries. I never really was in an avenue of the injury type of
more hospital related.
More surgical, rehabilitative, like people that are recovering from surgery or chronic illnesses, getting like we'd get a lot of people that got pneumonia and then they would get antibiotics and they'd go home. Of course, we get some people that would come in for cancer related things, get, chemo or blood transfusions, get better, go home. We would deal with that kind of stuff. So I would say in my career, if I would have dealt with anything with people, it would definitely be a bigger quantity of people that maybe those illnesses could have been prevented, as opposed to someone who overdid it in exercise.
Got you.
For sure.
Got you. Thank you. Then also, Eternal says, is it viable that someone could pursue both bulking and weight loss, or is that something that exclusively should remain two separate goals, weight loss first and bulking second?
I think if you are somebody who is overweight, you should work to lose the weight first. But what they say is really important is that while you're losing weight, you want to work on building lean muscle mass, because if you weight train, then you are going to burn fat. And if you eat good amounts of protein like you're supposed to, you will build the lean muscle mass, but your body will burn the fat. So it's a good combination to work on a good nutrition plan that promotes weight loss while building muscle. Because if you just lose weight and then you build muscle, you're a little bit more risk of very loose skin. And
True.
not that you won't have it, because we've got people, I mean, I've got loose skin and I may never get rid of it. I may not. It is what it is. But I think that maybe if you want to bulk, if you're either a female or a male who wants to get big and bulky, they're going to take you in phases where they're going to work on burning the fat by what you eat and the exercises you do, combination of cardio, weights, and usually very heavy weights. But they're not going to have you bulk by eating more protein than you need, because they need you to burn the fat. And then you're going to ramp up in the goals. So from what I can see, or what I've seen in different journeys I've watched, is that everything is a phase. That like this is this phase and they take you to this phase and then this phase. That's where I seem to see what's happening with people. And that's why I think that whatever nutrition plan you do, you need to align it with your goals. So if you and it has to be what you can handle. So kind of like for me, it's a little bit off topic, but like I was eating fast food. And then as I got a little bit stronger and better and doing this consistently, I was able to say, okay, I don't need to eat it. Not only am I trying to eat it healthier, but I'm saving money. So that was sort of a mind shift change that needed to happen. And so that was kind of a phase. Like my first phase was just, I'm on this journey, I'm going to exercise, I'm going to eat healthier. And then as my mind shift changed, I was able to start saying, okay, I don't need to eat at Taco Bell. I can make that food. I can save money. And then I'm trying to build muscle. Once I get to where I've lost my weight, then I want to make sure I continue to build muscle. And I don't want to be bulky. I want good lean muscle mass. That's what I want. And for a guy who wants to really bulk, there's going to be a different plan to then increase the protein and increase the weights and what you do. Right. So finding someone who knows what they're doing and make sure that they can help and guide you.
Well said.
Yeah.
Having guidance in that department as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, in 30 seconds or less, from Eternal, say your most heartfelt words as motivation for someone who is at a low point in their fitness journey. What would be a heartfelt message you would say to somebody in 30 seconds or less that is for helping someone at a low point in their fitness journey?
Are you going to time me?
No.
Okay. Someone who has a low point in their fitness journey, heartfelt, encouraging. Okay. You can do this. You are important. You deserve to make yourself a priority. You need this for you, and there are people who love you and need you, and you deserve to be the best version of you.
Very well said. Thank you, Mama Wolf. Thank you. Thank you very much. Can we get some love in the chat for Mama Wolf, please?
Thank you, guys.
Now, as well, Eternal also says, we can't and shouldn't control what happens to us at the end of your life, but I can say safely, even if something happens now, you've raised your kids right. You've imparted many good and rare traits in them. You have already done so much, and we are indeed inspired by your journey and what you do and the message that you leave.
Oh,
Thank you very freaking much, Mama Wolf. Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank
I
you.
love you guys so much.
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, Ma. If there are no further questions, Wolfpack, I appreciate you. I thank you very much for being a part of the very first episode of the podcast. Thank you guys very much for being a part of the debut. Thank you guys for the wonderful questions and comments in general as well. Now, if you guys were a part of the live experience, thank you for being here, a part of the live experience. If you guys are watching this once it is a VOD, thank you for watching this once it is a video on demand as well. If you guys have any further questions, leave those in the comment section down below once this is a VOD. And if you guys want to, again, follow Mama Wolf and check out her socials or any of my socials, those will all be linked in the description down below, man. And as well, this will now be taking over the normal gaming streams that we would typically do on Fridays. So next week, there is going to be another theme. We are going to turn the PAWCAST into a regular podcast. We're gonna turn it into a regular thing that we do every single Friday. We're gonna have a theme. We're gonna have different guest stars. Sometimes it's just gonna be me. Other times it's gonna be me and my co-host King Me Eli. We have a lot of really cool ideas, and I hope to see you guys a part of the future episodes. Again, if you guys have not already liked episode 1 of the podcast, please drop a like on episode 1 of the podcast for future episodes. And to everybody that has already done so, thank you so very much. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you very much for your time. Have an amazing rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.